What's up everybody and welcome to Moto Pilot Customs. This is the CBR VFR hybrid build where we're taking a VFR800 with the awesome V4 engine, making it look more like a CBR suspension, CBR bodywork, trick all new exhaust. There's just a lot going on with this bike. What we're working on today is pretty intense. We're actually gonna pull the frame off the bike to get it powder coated. We're gonna remove everything from this area here. The engine will stay in place, the whole rear end will stay in place. We gotta pull the whole front end off, but that's okay because we're getting Cognito. Moto is making us a set of custom triple clamps for a set of beefy upside down forks and an all new braking system in the front. No more link braking on this bike. Now pulling the frame out of this thing, it's a little bit daunting, but it has to be done. I really want a black frame for this bike, and the best way to go about it is to pull it off and get it powder coated. I've never done it before, so let's just tear into it. Now I suggest the first thing you do before you start tearing all this stuff off the bike is take your phone, start taking pictures of every detail you can, because there's a lot going on up here and I might not put this thing back together for 2 or 3 more weeks, so trying to remember everything goes. It's just a good way to keep record of what goes where. This is part of the link braking system, this crazy piece of contraption here. This is going to be gone for good, but a lot of this stuff is going to stay where it's at. Got to go back on the bike. So yeah, just take some pictures and you'll be fine. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the subframe. It's attached to the frame here. The shock has to come back off. It's only mounted at the top anyways. Then I'm going to start pulling all this stuff here out of the way. Pull off the front wheel, pull off the front forks, the hand controls. It's going to be a lot of work. Let's do it. If you're new here and you don't know already, you can be the owner of this bike by supporting the build series. All you got to do is go over to patreon.com/motopilot. Sign up there for as little as $1 per video. You can qualify to be the owner of this bike. Also every month I'm doing reward giveaways for people that have signed up. So that's an awesome added feature. It's a no-brainer. Be nice if this was aluminum, huh? Take the shock off. I always put bolts back where they came from. Makes life a whole lot easier when you're putting this thing back together. Here is something I like to do during my builds because I'll get a lot of nuts and bolts from all over the place. So in this case here, I'm marking each bolt and putting them in a Ziploc bag called Subframe. You know, when I do the front end, I'll have a different bag for that. Each area of the bike will have its own Ziploc bag full of nuts and bolts. Makes life way easier. All right, obviously before I pull the gas tank off, I want to make sure there's no fuel in here. I recently put fuel in it because we replaced the fuel pump and I want to make sure it would run. So I just bought this cheap thing at Pep Boys, a siphon kit. Basically you just squeeze this and it gets the fuel going. Just got a gas can down there. So this is the fuel line here. There's some electronics down here. Not a lot of stuff. A little bit of fuel left in there. I'm just letting it drain onto a rag. Electronic connector here. Another one here. Alright, I forgot there's a pinhole right here, and there's a pin right here that goes in the hole, so figured it out. Alright, since I'm going to start pulling off the front brake assembly, I want to get as much fluid out as possible right now. So I'm just going to pull off the 2 brake lines, see how much fluid comes out that way. That's not a ton. So what I'm doing now is I'm just pumping the front brake lever to help push it out. Hey guys, sorry about the fan noise, but it's 90 degrees in California today, so I gotta keep cool. So right now we're just pulling off the whole front brake assembly here. You know, the front caliper anyways. Come on, baby. Almost home. Here we go. This front braking system is such a contraption. We're going to make it way simpler. No more link braking. Next thing we're pulling off is this contraption here. This is part of the link braking system. This is obviously for the front brake. This linked braking system on this bike is almost about 10 pounds total. 5 pounds front, 5 pounds back. We're going to get rid of all that weight. Whew. Yep, she's heavy, all right. Alright, so what I'm cutting now is this brake line here. This brake line is what connects the back brake and the front brake together. Just going to cut this line, and you can't see it, but the line runs all the way down inside the, let me show you. Runs down inside the frame here. Looks like there's two of them. So we're just going to get these out of here. It's part of the process. This one here is ready to come out now. There you go. Alright, so we got everything broke free from the front. All this is ready to come off. We just need to disconnect this right side brake caliper, and that should be the entire braking system. And it looks like it wants some oil. Let's get a bucket under there. The ABS here. What a bunch of junk, man. Unbelievable. It's just a maze of brake lines everywhere. It's just crazy. That's everything we pulled off. Of course there's going to be new calipers put on here, but that's a lot of crap, man. Alright, next we're going to take off the radiator overflow tank. Probably the easiest part of this build so far. Don't you love how bolts always end up underneath something where you can't find it? Every time. Unbelievable. Alright, these two bolts here, what bolt the frame to the motor. Got them on both sides. Not so bad. Anybody know why this bolt has a hole in the middle? I don't. I'm just asking. Oh man. That sucker's tight. Feels like the whole thing's spinning. Maybe it goes all the way through. Yep. I'm going to loosen this one from the other side. There's a nut on the other side. Why would you put a nut on the back side of that thing, you crazy Japanese? Alright, so this is the motor mount bolt that goes all the way through. I got the other side being held with my breaker bar. And knock this side loose with the impact wrench, I hope. Yeah, buddy. I also want to detach the radiators from the frame. There's really not that much stuff attached to the frame, believe it or not. That's already broken free. Do that to the other side. Okay, so hiding behind the radiator cap here, you have a regulator rectifier that's mounted to the frame. So let's just get that out of the way. Alright guys, so the only things left to do to get this frame off here is I got one bolt there. Got to pull that bolt out. We just removed the nut on the other side. But I don't want to remove any more of the bolts that hold the frame to the motor. First thing we want to do is get the front end completely off. I'm going to pull the front fender right now. I can't pull the front wheel until I get my other jack under here. Right now the bike's being suspended just by this floor jack and a 4x4, so it's kind of wobbly. I got another jack I'm going to put under here, but right now that jack's underneath my Harley because I'm doing my back wheel, get a new tire on there. So when I come back, so we'll pull the front fender off real quick, and then later today I'll get that jack in there and we'll get this thing going. Alright, look at this guys. As soon as I got done recording that last segment about needing my jack from the Harley over here, the last part for that showed up, a black brake rotor, because I just blacked out that bike. That's a whole other series I got going on if you guys want to check it out. Doing a build on a 2013 Street Glide. All this up here was chrome. This all here was chrome. Had it all powder coated black. These foot pegs were chrome. These brackets were chrome. All this in here was chrome. The sissy bar was chrome. The tail light was chrome. I put new tinted lenses back here. And man, what a difference. Powder coated the tips on the pipes, powder coated the pulley and the back wheel. Night and day difference. Love it. Alright guys, I do have the bike all braced up now. I have this flat jack in the back resting on that cradle right there. That's the rear shock cradle. And I have both foot pegs tied down from the foot peg down to the lift to keep the bike from wanting to rock back and forth. And then up front I have another flat scissor lift with a 4x4 going up and resting on the motor right there, so that'll keep the front end up, which will allow us now to pull off the front end and lift the frame off the motor. If you hear some fan noise today, it's really hot, so I'm running my Honeywell cooler, and which makes a huge difference. And I got another fan over here just kind of blowing some air. So sorry if it makes a lot of racket, but it's boiling today. Let's get cranking. Alright, so next we're going to remove these two bolts right here. This is basically the bracket that just holds this whole assembly here. This is going to remain with the bike, but it is attached to the front of the frame. For this top triple clamp nut, I'm actually using a 1 3/16 socket because I didn't have a metric that size. Here we go. Getting worried there. Alright, so from what I can see, everything's been disconnected from the frame. Everything in the back here, the shock, had to disconnect the two cylinder electrical here. Those have been removed. A couple of motor mount bolts. Everything up here electrical. The whole front fork assembly disconnected. The front lighting, the front bracket assembly. The regulator rectifier. A couple of bolts here. These were removed previously during the build, and I think we can just lift the frame right off this thing. Let's check it out. There's a couple things up front here. There's a horn and something else down here I didn't see. I'll keep chipping away at it. Okay, I think I got it. Let's try it again. Wow, I didn't think I'd ever see the day where I actually pull a frame off a sport bike. It's pretty daunting, but on this bike here, pretty basic really. Just a lot of little parts. Got the frame here. Just got to pull off a few more little parts before it goes to powder coat. I'll put all those in a Ziploc bag marked frame. I already took pictures of everything. Pull that off. Pull that off. Get rid of these things here. Take the horn off. And this bad boy goes to powder coat. And then here's the triple clamp. That's a pretty cheesy triple clamp if you ask me. What's going to happen as far as rebuilding the front end, the triple clamp and the front wheel, which is over here, is going to be shipped to Cognito Moto. And I'm going to tell them the length of the forks. And what they're going to do is they're going to design a new triple clamp and machine it out of billet to accept a pair of upside down forks. We're going to figure out which brand and which model those will be. to utilize that'll work on this bike. It needs to be a certain length and all that. Gonna try to utilize the stock front wheel. We might have to change the whole wheel on that to accommodate the forks. But yeah, these triple clamps are gonna go, and I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this right here. Might have to hit it with some heat and peel that off, I guess. So I guess that's it for this episode. We got the frame off, ready for powder coat. It's quite a bit of work, but it was worth it. It's gonna look really nice. It's gonna go with like a matte black, which is what we did on the wheels and everything, matte black. So come back for next episode, see what's going on. Don't forget, if you want this bike, check out the Patreon site. $1 a video could be yours. Thanks for hanging out. See you next episode.